Good morning, everyone. This is the Wednesday morning Mastermind group that's now been moved over to Emerald Coach's page. We will be meeting here every Wednesday morning, and the purpose of this group is to come together to share best practices, brainstorm, help lift each other up, and to support each other on our journeys, whether it be to hit Diamond Coach, to achieve Success Club, to get more volume, to have more customers, whatever our goals are personally to us. The purpose of this group is to really help and share ideas. So I will be expecting you to kind of participate, and you did answer the questions as you came into the Emerald Coaches page, and all of you that have been added to this group have clicked yes, I am willing to participate. So this is your time. So it's really great to see so many people that have jumped on here. You know, I know people work, hence why we were recording this call. So, you know, make sure you watch this after. The initial focus that we'll do on these calls is a recap of the National Wake Up Call and sharing ideas that you've got from it. So this is now a little bit of accountability. Who actually listened to National Wake Up Call? So if you can either raise your hand or pop a little note into the messenger on the side there, or happy to speak and share. I'm going to put everyone's faces up so we can see you. Give us a thumbs up if you've actually watched the why do I keep saying watch, because everything's via Zoom. If you actually listened to the National Wake Up Call on Monday, give me a thumbs up so I can see you. Oh, dearie me. Okay, so interestingly, this call is really useful, and trust me, when I get speakers to come onto this call, I get them because I think they'll be really relevant to the UK. So it's worth going and listening to it. And this week was all about building relationships. And we had Eddie Silcock, and we also had Greg Plaskett from the US come onto the call this week. So did anyone, actually, if you did listen to it, so Susie, you said you did. Excuse me, coughing and split. I've actually been in bed for like 5 days, but I'm back now. I'm standing up. It's hooray! It's hooray! So let's have a look. Who did?
Oh, I think mine's coming.
Okay, so does anyone want to kind of share what they got from the call on Monday? And this will be what we'll do on a Wednesday, but it doesn't mean you can't jump on if you haven't listen to the National Wake Up Call. But what I would do is urge you to listen to it on replay. I know 8 a.m. is not the perfect time. Most people are rushing out of the door to get their kids to school or off their way to work for many reasons. You know, it's a busy time of the morning, but we will always upload that to a podcast on either Google Play or iTunes. So make sure if you can go back and listen to it in your car or at some point when you've got a spare half hour, 45 minutes. So who's listened to one? Let's have a look. Okay, anyone want to share what they've got from the National Wake Up Call? Or if you have listened to previous National Wake Up Calls, what you've got from the previous ones and why it's so important for other people to listen to them? Somebody raise your hand and just unmute yourself. Now's your time. Thanks, Hannah. There you go, I've unmuted you.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. I think one of the things that I've picked up is just some little tips and hints of things that you could slightly tweak in your business to kind of have a different impact, or to get some ideas of how you could slightly do things differently. Not necessarily saying adopting absolutely everything that's that's coming through, otherwise I think we'd be changing our business on a weekly basis, but getting some really good tips and suggestions of people that are being really successful is really, really beneficial. I find really helpful to improving some of the things I've been doing.
Fab, thanks, Hannah. Did you come to any of the road tours?
Yes, we came to Bristol. We were the ones at the back with the baby.
Yes, right. And you'll remember at Bristol, actually, I think we talked about a story, and it's so true. What Hannah's just mentioned there is that, yeah, there's going to be lots of people sharing what they do in their business, and it's not you going, okay, this week I'm going to be Kim Fitzpatrick, and I'm going to do everything that Kim Fitzpatrick said to do. Oh, now I'm going to be Greg Plaskett and do everything that Greg Plaskett said to do. What you do is you need to stay on your path, and you think, actually, that bit there that Kim mentioned will work really well with my journey and work with what I'm doing. So I'm going to carry on doing it this way. Don't just change who you are and be jumping around and being a different person every week. These calls are there to mentor you on your current journey. I don't think you have to change. But thank you for sharing, Hannah. Appreciate that. Did anyone else listen? Okay, so Eleanor, you said you listened to both of them, the US one and the UK one, which is also really good to do. And, you know, again, go careful that you don't overwhelm yourself with too much information. But I think, you know, as long as you're sensible and you're not swapping around. But Eleanor, give me something you've got. This week we had Greg Plaskett talking about relationships, and we also had Eddie talking about how he hit diamond with the UK team, although he was over in the States. So I'm going to unmute you, Eleanor. Oh, where have you gone? There you are.
Hello.
Hi, you're unmuted.
Oh wow. I might have to dash off if anything happens at work. I've just really had it reiterated that we all have to be honing in on our vital behaviours, and if we want to get to diamond, we have to be going all out. So not just focusing on getting to Success Club 5, we focused on that, but then we have to be trying throughout the month to get more and more and more. I also listened to another one this morning because they're great on my drive to work. I can't remember the name of the lady. It's a US National Wake Up Call on the podcast. And she was talking about, oh, it's totally gone from my brain because I was trying to think of her name. That's so frustrating. But they're so valuable. I've learned so much in the short space of time I've been listening to them. So everyone really needs to be doing it.
Definitely. Thanks for sharing that, Eleanor. And it's true, you know, you can get some tips and definitely worth a listen. And, you know, trust me, it's it's focused for the UK market. That's what I will say, is that I'm really looking to get coaches on there that I believe will really help support you on your journeys from conversations that I'm having with people. So down to that, let's have a look at, you know, what we've got as a plan for this week. Obviously, the focus has been around 80-day obsession. Who's super excited about the January event? I can tell you I am now. Now I can announce it and let you all know where it is. Yeah, it's going to be an awesome event. And I've just posted in there about Michael and Jeff, what they've thought about going to Super Saturdays. Obviously, ignore everything they say about January the 6th. Ours is on Sunday, the 14th of January. The amount of emails I've had saying, okay, so I know you're saying it's Sunday in the booking line, but everybody says Super Saturday. We have to call it Super Saturday. That is the name of the event, whether it's held on a Friday, a Saturday, or a Sunday. So just to clarify, it is on Sunday, the 14th of January, not the 6th of January on a Saturday here in the UK. But it's going to be an amazing event, and we're going to get to work out with Autumn in the most of, if you haven't ever been to the ICC, it's a huge hall. And so rather us having to split up the groups like we did in London, everyone's going to be in that session, training together, brainstorming together, and working out together. So you're going to have an absolutely amazing environment for you to learn loads of stuff from. So let's go into any questions people have got, because tonight, see you, James. Tonight, what we're going to do is go through, I'm going to record another 80-day obsession training for you, because we've had some updated stuff regarding the packs. So has anyone got any questions that you would love me to answer tonight in the call? I'm not going to go live with it. I'm going to record it, and then it's going to get posted up as soon as we've recorded it. So has anyone got any specific stuff that they'd like to talk about, or things that you've heard that are working, or feedback, or anything that you want to share here? So can we really brainstorm how 80-day obsession can transform your business? Because I totally believe that it can. And I know that, you know, the mega bundle pack's probably not for everyone, but it's going to be a fantastic opportunity, and there are options there for people to be able to access stuff on different levels. So who'd like to share anything? Neil, you look like you've got something.
Yeah, I need to know more about the diet plan.
Okay.
Just throw it at me. I need to know about the diet plan.
You need to know about the meal plan.
Being very, very quiet, this diet plan, and I really want to know what it's about. I know for a fact that it's going to be done by meal, isn't it, this time?
Yeah.
But I'd like maybe a sample, if possible, of the diet plan.
Okay. And these are all these questions. I'm getting the test group back in tonight, so I will go back to them with these questions as well. So you're getting the chance now to ask questions that are going to go live tonight on the call. And also, we're doing a Q&A with Autumn. So these questions are really good for us to have lined up ready. If for any reason you will go really shy and nobody comes up and puts a hand up at the actual event, which we're obviously helping for. But let's have a look. So the meal plan, prep and what is it? Okay, I will get some answers to those questions tonight, Neil, for you. Anyone else? Ollie, did you look like you had something? Or did you just disappear?
No, I pressed the wrong buttons.
Did you have a question?
Yeah, more to do with I noticed there's in the bundles there's a few different equipments for the different exercises within the 80 days, and maybe just understanding what equipment and space.
So equipment and space is needed. Okay, so I know that obviously you've got your bands, there's weights needed, and there's the sliders. Now the sliders come like this for carpet. Like, I just can't wait to see how many electric shocks we give to everybody that we're anywhere near after we've used these. And then if you've got a laminate floor, you literally put this little black thing over the top of it, and now you've got your laminate floor sliders. So you get those. You've got your, I love it when my children just turn up and pinch them. So they were playing with these last night. So you've got your bands as well, and there's all different bands for different strengths. So obviously as the stronger you get, the tougher these bands get. So this one's quite easy, but there's a black one down there that's really quite hard. And then you've got the weights that will be needed as well. So that's the equipment. Now with regards to space, I've seen a lot of people working out in like a Zoom environment when they were doing this live in the test group. And Caroline Glenn, for one of them, and I'll definitely ask it tonight, she was doing it all in her living room. So I'm fairly confident that it's, living room space kind of area that we'll be doing it.
Yeah.
So I don't think you need tons of space to do this. Obviously, you need higher ceilings than mine. So yeah. Does that answer your question? And then I'll go and get some more clarity from Caroline tonight for you.
Thank you.
Perfect. And when we go to the UK Super Saturday, Sunday, we won't need any equipment. The plan is that we're going to be doing a cardio 80-day obsession workout, so you won't need to bring any equipment with you, because we're fully aware that some of you may not have got your equipment by that point. We're hoping, obviously, that you will have, because it launches on the Monday. So don't worry about having to lug all your sliders and your weights and your bands along. You won't need them.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Any other questions? You're very quiet today.
You can see me.
Yes, I can see you, Evie.
Someone in the network asked about what alternatives for the performance line that they can use, other than, obviously, we can get Energize and Recover.
Yeah.
They were asking about alternatives for Hydrate, and I can't remember the other performance line one.
That's a great question. I will go in and ask about alternatives too, and I will get that as a question for autumn as well. But I'll pre-plan her for that one, because obviously she doesn't, well, she probably does know that it's not allowed here, but she may need to do some research based on her advice, really. So I'll have a little look at that. So alternative to recharge, isn't it, and hydrate?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Thanks.
Anyone else while we're on 80-day obsession?
SJ, can I ask a Super Saturday question?
Here's Michael Anderson. I recognise that Geordie accent.
Sorry, I was trying to sit quietly and just listen. I know it doesn't happen very often.
That's never going to happen.
Not in a Geordie. Just a quick one. Obviously, I know it's Birmingham this time, and our main events will tend to be down south. But I've had a lot of guys in Scotland saying, will we actually do any events in, like, the real north? Because a lot of people class Birmingham as too far to travel, which I know there's been lots of threads about. But hour from London or something, and some guys are coming from Aberdeen, and they're flying down. And I was just wondering, are there any plans to do either Manchester or in Edinburgh or Glasgow kind of thing? I mean, you can do Newcastle if you want, that would help, but like... Yeah.
Great question, and I'm really glad you've asked this, actually. So the reason why we chose Birmingham for anything that we're going to do, probably moving forward, it will either be Birmingham or Manchester. For anything that we do corporately, where we're trying to bring everyone together and have one event, is because it's a lot easier for people to get to and more cost effective to stay over in a hotel versus London. So that's why we'll do anything on a national kind of scale, probably in those two areas. Now, moving on from this event, this Super Saturday, for those of you who don't know, In the US, all of the Super Saturdays are run by market councils. And market councils are a team of volunteers throughout the UK who choose to kind of step up and take ownership of an area and go, right, well, we're going to have a Super Saturday here. So each month, and I can give you the dates for the next ones coming up, they'll be the same date as they are in the US, and they'll be run by leaders in the field. So you will run it maybe in a village hall or in a, if you've got a load of you, then obviously you'll be looking to book somewhere. But what we want are volunteers, obviously, to step up to say, yeah, I'd love one in my area, and I think we've got enough people here to hold a Super Saturday. And so January wants to be a real training ground for this. And this is a real opportunity for any Emerald coach that wants to or a Diamond coach that wants to own and go and say, actually, I want one in my area. It could be Newcastle, it could be Sunderland, it could be Aberdeen, it could be Louis and Cornwall, it could be anywhere, but you want to run one in your area. And what do I need to do that? Because it's not just you just pitch up and this is what happens. Behind the scenes there's a whole lot of stuff that needs to happen before you get to a Super Saturday. Now, all of the presentations and kind of guidance on what happens on the day is given to you via corporate, but you take ownership as part of this market council that works with corporate to kind of set up the events website, to book the location, to get the payments in for this. And so we are looking for people that want to step up and do that. And it was really interesting on the road tour, because that was kind of a telltale sign for me as to who is interested in volunteering and helping out, the people that turned up and volunteered. And I want to give a massive shout out to everyone that did that, because that was a fantastic help for us on that road tour. So Michael, back to your question, they can be after the January event. They'll be on exactly the same day as they are in the US, and they can be in different locations across the UK, and we will work to get them, set up in your area. And I know that when Melanie Mitro first started out, her little Super Saturday was in her living room. And so, it doesn't have to be huge. If you live miles away from where there's one that's got a lot of people, you just set one up in your area. If you can't get there, do something for your local community and set one up. And what we do then is we help you host the event. We send you all the presentations, so you've got that to be able to run it, but you take charge of everything else. And that kind of creates that leadership as well for you within the field. So how exciting does that sound? I love that idea. It's fantastic to be able to give that back to you. So you're now taking responsibility for your business, but we're supporting you on that journey. So if you are interested in holding one, maybe in April, because the next one after January is in April, and then we're looking at July, and then we go back to October, where we'll be celebrating our first year birthday. So if you are looking to help set one up in your local area, or want to come together with some other people, and it doesn't have to just be your team, ideally we want different teams all running these together, then definitely drop me a message. If I put my email address up here, then you can let me know that you are interested.
Don't do it, you'll get stalked if you put your email address up.
Oh, I don't mind. Like, I don't get stalked enough on Facebook. You know what? People are less likely to send me an email than they do a Facebook message. So it's fine. You can also, if you are genuinely interested, I will send a form back to you, because it is a lot of responsibility, and it's not just, oh yeah, I want to do it because I love Beachbody. It's like, okay, I really want to do it because I love giving back, and I will get some kind of development from this. I'm committed to giving the extra time, because it is extra work for you. If you're volunteering, if you want to set one up in April and July, chances are you're going to need to be along in January a little bit earlier to kind of help out at that event too. So it's not just something to think, yeah, I want to do it, but actually we really, really want you to kind of think about it and go all in with it, because it is a responsibility. And for some, it takes over quite a lot of their time, but the benefits of it are huge, because you're working directly with corporate, you're getting to hear and bring so many people together. That whole growth that you'll get from that will be amazing. So I will put my email in here so that you can, not that it's difficult for you to not figure out what my email is. There we go. So you can send me an email if you are interested, and then I'll send you a form to fill in, and then we'll have a chat on the phone, and get you helping out in January, ready for the one in April. And to let you know, Carl is planning on coming back over next year for Super Saturdays. So whoever does take on this job, you are going to be hosting, I would imagine, if you're in a bigger city, the wonderful Carl Deichler. So it's going to be pretty awesome. So does that answer that question, Michael?
Yeah, a little bit. I'm a bit curious because obviously, I may or may not be there in January, depending on the birth of a child.
Yes.
Of a child. My child, sorry.
I was going to say, whose child?
Just a random one in Newcastle. I just having a doubt for it. So that was all. That's kind of like my worry or apprehension.
Yeah.
Because obviously I missed January to then try and set one up later on. But that's cool. We'll figure that out in January.
Fabulous.
Thanks.
No worries. And thanks, Eve, for posting that in there. I know she put Amy Silverman started hers in her garage with 8 people about 5 years ago. It now had tens of thousands of people. Yeah, and some of the events, the Super Saturdays in the States, have thousands of people tied up to them. So you start with something really small and it just grows and grows and grows. And being part of that is so rewarding. So it's a really great thing to be part of. Okay, so anyone like to add anything else with regards to January? Have you all booked a ticket for January? And if you haven't, are you planning on booking a ticket for January? If you can't get there because of other commitments, totally get it. For those of you that are kind of on the fence as to whether you should go or not, I would say the events are the things that changed my business. When I was in the field, they are the thing that really kind of made the leaders stand out. And it was interesting because it was the same people turning up to meetings consistently, but then it was the same people that were getting recognized. And so what I would say is you just learn so much more when you come together as a group and you're there in the moment with no other distractions going on, learning. And it's not just sitting in that chair and listening to the people on stage. You will also learn from the person sat to the right of you, the person sat to the left of you, and everyone sat around you. And it will be something you can't replace. That whole buzz that you get when you go to an event like that and we come together as one big family, and then you leave and you're kind of motivated again for a little while. And then it's like, that's why they're done every quarter, is just to keep you going. It's like that whole okay, right, we've gone you for 3 months. You've got a plan now to go for 3 months. Let's get to the next Super Saturday. We'll come together, we'll regroup, then we'll go again. And I know Eve went to Summit last year, and that's where I met Eve. Although I wasn't allowed in any photos because my current employer didn't know that I was changing jobs. But Eve, if you can just share what you got from Summit, because obviously from January, we've got the Super Saturday in January. We've then got April, and then it goes over to June where we've got Summit. So Eve, if you want to just share how you felt when you left Summit last year, because I know how I felt, but how you felt when you left Summit last year, because this is obviously a larger meeting, but January will be just as important.
Summit literally changed my life. I went being really, really excited, but also really, really anxious and nervous because I was like, oh, I've got a team of people that are depending on me and looking up at me, and I just feel pressure. And I went, and it is being in a family of 20,000 people that just want to love you. Like, walking around New Orleans, you could just see everywhere, and I mean everywhere I went, there were groups of coaches. And I had, at one point, because there was only 7 of us that went from the UK, so we had our flags and we were wearing, and I had people stopping me in the streets wanting photos with me because I was a UK coach, because they were just so excited that they were coming to the UK. And the training is amazing. So they have, so you'll have literally, I was getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, I was finishing at midnight, and it's constant, non-stop training, advice, personal development. We had Darren Hardy talking, we had Brendan Bouchard. So if you haven't read their books, read them. Darren Hardy is Compound Effect, absolutely amazing. Brendan Bouchard's just released High Performance Habits, which you can get for free at the moment. If you go via his Instagram, all you've got to do is pay postage, which is £5.30. And then you get loads of extra courses as well. And you would normally pay hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of pounds to have a seminar with them. And you have these amazing motivational speakers. You have top coaches who are sharing their story about how they've how they've got to where they are, how they've succeeded, sharing knowledge. And then you go off and you have workshops as well. So you have loads of trainings where you can they're about half an hour, 45 minutes long, and you can Google them. They're on YouTube, and they go through things like social media, how to attract lifer coaches, how to brand yourself. There's just so much knowledge and so much to take away. And my husband came with me, and he didn't come to any of the events except the closing ceremony, which is amazing because that's where they announced the winner of the Beachbody Challenge, and literally had me in tears. And my husband is very supportive. He's always said, I support you, don't want to do it, but I support you. And he came away from it going, yeah, I don't want to coach yet. Oh yes, we went from don't want to do it to don't want to do it yet. And he loved it. So, if you can bring partners along, my biggest bit of advice is do, especially if they're dubious and maybe don't completely get it. They will get it. Things will fall into place.
Thanks, Steve. So obviously you came to the road shows as well, which is a whole different level.
Yeah.
So you've gone from Summit, which is up here, to road shows, but then we've got the January Super Saturday. And what I just want you to kind of explain is how important these events are for anyone that's not yet booked to go along. And, I can, like I said, from the heart, I can tell you that all the successful people that I've met in this industry of network marketing and, working in this relationship building kind of industry turn up to the events. They go to the events, even if you think you know everything, I can guarantee you don't, and you get something from every event you will turn up to and invest. And it is an investment. This is not like a cost to your business. You are now business owners. And as we talked about this a lot with the road tour, you have a franchise, basically, a really inexpensive franchise that you're building. And if you were, for whichever company had a franchise and they said, we have a training day, you'd go along to it because chances are you would have invested 10 grand into that franchise, or 20 or 100 grand. And you think, you know what, I need to make this work. I'm going to turn up to every training. So you've got to kind of have that mentality when you're, when these events and trainings come up, is that I've invested into this franchise. I'm going to make out like it's cost me £100,000, and I'm going to go and be a sponge and learn from everyone I possibly can be, so I can do, so that I can get, to where I want to be with it. So Eve, how important do you think the January Super Saturday on Sunday, the 14th of January, will be for the UK? I have to say that every time. Will be for every UK coach.
But there are some Super Saturdays in the US that take place on Sundays as well.
I know,
and on Friday. It's just weird. But for me, they're absolute non-negotiables. If you are serious about this being a business, and like SJ just said, if you're in any other business, you wouldn't miss a training event. This is yes, it's a bit of a jolly because we all get together, and I'm getting hotels, so I'm going to stay overnight, may have some wine, I'm going to have some fun with my team. I know, but only within the allotted swaps of my yellow containers, obviously. Obviously. But they are just absolute non-negotiables. I mean, you cut me and I'm Beachbody blue. I have been obsessed with Beachbody for a long, long time. And I went to 2 of the road shows and I took so much away from it. So much. Just different people's perspectives and hints and knowledge and different people's stories that are just, when my team are going, oh, well, I can't, or people say to me, I can't afford that, I can come back with this amazing story about a coach who saved money by selling soda cans for 5 cents a time. So he got his $160, 5 cents at a time. So when people say to me, I can't afford it, I can come back with that story. If I hadn't gone to a roadshow, I wouldn't have that. I'd just be sitting there getting sucked into the self-limiting belief that, oh, well, people can't afford it. It's just before Christmas.
Brilliant. Wow. Thanks. And that's, these masterminds are very much for this reason. You've hit the nail on the head there for that. is that the reason why we do these masterminds is that if we've got objections coming up, or we've got, you know, I want you to come solution focused, that you'll come into this, this is not a whinging, whining ground at all. You know, I do not tolerate that kind of behavior at all in my world, I guess, in any world. It's like, you know, we want you to come here and be resourceful, responsible, and with a solution focused mind. And it was really great on the road tour that, you know, people were coming up with solutions when we put up somebody who had an objection, because we'll focus on this a lot, I think, with some of our trainings, because I know a lot of you are getting objections, and the more we do it and the more we have solutions for you, is like the easier it becomes. And the stories and the, you know, the ideas that were coming out across the road tours were fantastic. And I have to say, Edinburgh was awesome, but they got better as they got down to Bristol, because it was just more, you know, obviously we were learning as we were going down with things that people were saying as well. So it was a really great experience for us in sharing, you know, stories that we'd heard along the road tour. And like Eve said, she came to 2. Now this is a diamond coach, turned up to 2 road tours. So, you know, that speaks volumes to me on, you know, somebody coming along and wanting to be a sponge and really taking on all the training and treating this like a business, to make sure that you
and I didn't get home until 1 o'clock in the morning from the last one.
You're amazing, thank you. So this is, you know, let's use this group as well as somewhere where we can overcome some objections. Once you've built relationships, as we've spoken about on the National Wake Up Call this week, it's all about inviting. And I know that was our biggest bugbear on our UK road tour, was the invitation process. And it was really interesting because we got people to do like a brainstorm, come together, let us know how you're inviting your customers to actually purchase, not to join a free challenge group, because there were some amazing stories about free challenge groups and everybody's really good at giving stuff away free. But how do we get people to make a commitment and pass like that, kind of click that button to commit, to buying a challenge pack of some sort, or going on to H subscription Shakeology, or to go on to BOD. And so we went around the groups, and I think there was one person in Bristol that actually gave us an invite. She was a brand new coach, and everyone else just kind of fluffed it. Nobody really made that kind of, are you going to come in and, you know, buy something? So next Wednesday morning, I'm going to go through the roadshow presentation, and we're going to get to the objections bit and the invitation part. I think at the moment it's, you know, I'm going to give you some stuff to do with 80-day obsession, and chances are you're going to be coming up with some objections. So I'm going to make sure that presentation goes out tonight for you, where you've got all the answers to the different packs, all the answers to the questions that you've asked us already over there. And if you've thought of any more that you want me to ask the test group, then obviously, you know, pop your hand, raise your hand. There's a little button that you can click, raise hand. And then next Wednesday, we will focus on the invitation and overcoming objections. And I need you to kind of really participate and come to it with an open, solution-focused kind of mind. That if you've got some ways of overcoming objections, bring them to the table so you can share it with other people. And if you've got objections that you're really stuck with, then again, let's bring them to the table and let's brainstorm it. And this is not about me giving all the answers to this. This is about you guys coming out. You're in the field. You're doing this every day, versus me hearing it and thinking from when I've had experience in the field of how I've overcome objections. So you're experiencing it firsthand. So we really need to participate in that. So that's what next week's going to be about. So my challenge to you this week is go for no. So this group is not just about you coming here and then not going away with a task. This week is about you getting as many objections as you possibly can, which means you have to invite as many people as you possibly can, because that way you'll get the objections if you think you're going to get objections. Ideally, you want to go in not expected to get them and getting a sale, and inviting people to join the test group, the coaches test group for 80-day obsession, or committing to joining you on a challenge in January, on the 15th of January when 80-day obsession will start, or doing another program with us. But going out and actually inviting people, and if you're getting the objections, write every single one down and let's bring it to the table next Wednesday. And if you're not, great job, you're doing amazing work within your business there, and you've got something fantastic right now with 80-day obsession as a really good especially with the before and after photos that I've posted into the UK coaches page. And apologies, there's not as many men in there as we would like. We need to make that kind of shift here in the UK. We've got a lot of male coaches. So I'm kind of putting it over to you guys to really step up, do the 80-day obsession and get an amazing transformation so we can start sending these before and after photos back to the US in March when we've completed the 80 days. So thank you, Eve, for mentioning down there in the bottom there. I don't think I've got it around here somewhere. Awesome book for this is Go for No, which is by, I can't remember his name. It is here somewhere. It is. I will get his name and post it in the group. But Go for No is a brilliant group, brilliant book. Basically, it's just about asking as many people as possible and setting yourself a target. And I used to do this with my teams. Is like set yourself a target of 50 no's, and like that is your goal, is to get 50 no's. And then at that point, you know what? When you get a no, you kind of go, okay, great, thanks for telling me. Can I add you to my free challenge group? Perfect, lovely. You're in. You go. Next no, I want the next no, I want the next no, and just keep going. You don't see it as so much as a negative as when you're just going out there expecting a yes and all you're getting a no's. So, and chances are you're going to get more yeses by doing it that way because you're not so attached to the outcome. So thanks, Eve, for posting that in there. Go for No. It's for network marketers. It's a brilliant book. And it's
by Richard Fenton.
Who?
Richard Fenton and Andrea Waltz.
Thank you very much. I'm
You're
loving this. Like up there and today, it's brilliant. So yeah, so thanks for that. So that is your goal for this week. Before we get to next Wednesday's Invite and Overcoming Objections Wednesday morning mastermind call. And I know it's going to be a busy one because I know this is something that everyone has some challenges with. So I'm going to post a little sheet up, a Google kind of poll or something in the Emeralds group, talking about when you've got to your 50 no's. And I really do challenge you. You know, this is like a really great opportunity for you to have some fun with this. You know, who can beat each other to get to the first 50 no's, and write down the objections you're getting. But remember, well, that was a getting. That was like a real West Country kind of getting then. Remember to do your funnel. So for those of you that weren't on the road tour, we talked about Megan Sunday and what she does to help kind of filter customers through to a paying customer, is that she has this huge kind of free challenge group. And this is just an option. You may want to do it your own way. What happens if somebody says no to her, she doesn't just write them off and kind of forgets about them. She puts them into a huge group that she's got, that's just running constantly, that's got a monthly theme, and then she just posts little teasers. She doesn't give her all in there. She just gives little teasers daily. So she does commit to something daily in that group, but she doesn't give her all to that group. So it's not about you giving everything to them so they don't think that they need to pay for anything. You just give them a little bit, but you're still giving them something so that when they are ready, they know where to come, and that'll be to you. So when you're going for these no's on getting people to come and join you on the 80-day obsession or on a 21-day fix or a T25, whatever it is you choose to do, if they say no to that, just say, hey, look, let me just add you into this group. I'm giving free tips on, like clean eating or staying hydrated, or this month it's all about, working on your abs. I'm going to do that anyway. So you get that for free. Just come in there, and when you're ready, you can just let me know. They'll always say yes to that. They've got the option to leave at any time. Just pop them into that group and then go for your next no. And then just keep filling that group. And the bigger that group is, trust me, the more powerful it's going to be in January, February next year. So that's your challenge for this week, being in this group. You are Emerald coaches, or, you're so close to Emerald coaches or a Diamond coach in this group. And you want to build your businesses. That's why you're in here. You've stepped up, you answered the questions, you said you wanted to grow, you wanted to build your businesses. That's why you're here, and that's why I'm here to help you, but also get everyone else to support you on the road too. So I want to say massive thank you to everyone that's shown up today. I don't want to take up too much time. I want this to be 45 minutes at the max on this call. Go and get your Go for No. I will print something out with a sheet of all the no's so you can start ticking them off. Let's have some fun with it and celebrate when you get a no, and that's okay, but just make sure you've got them to go somewhere so that you're not just completely dismissing them and forgetting about them when they've said no to you. And let's make this a great week. So thanks everyone for coming on. If you've got anything else that you want to ask me, just pop it in the chat group there and I can come back to you offline afterwards. Remember to send me an email if you're looking to volunteer, and I look forward to seeing you soon. See you guys. Thanks, Ollie, for your contribution as well.